Last year, Chattanooga 70.3, 2023, I ended the day in tears. That's not happening this year. I'm making it my goal to not let that happen again. In 2023, my nutrition on the bike just went haywire, and I paid the price big time on the run. And because of that, it may have been one of my worst race experiences to date. So I'm here to make up for that and to prove to myself that I can put all aspects, not just a swim, bike, run, but all aspects of racing together and have a killer performance. In 2023, I was taking in my carbs and my nutrition, but I was failing to chase that with enough water to fully get that absorbed into the body as it should. So once I had made it onto the run, serious GI issues hit me, and I walked more than I ran that day and found myself, in the porta potties more often than I wanted to, and it just completely wrecked my race. For the past 5 months, I've been training underneath my lovely wife, Tiffany, and I have 1000% trust in her. And that's what makes this easy. Because I know she has my best interest in mind, I can just go out and confidently execute whatever it is that she writes. Whatever she puts on the plan, I'm just gonna go out and do it. Because I know whatever she says, she firmly believes it's gonna make me better. And that's what I want. That's what we all want. We all want to be better. So it's a great feeling to know that I have this coach that is not just my partner in life, but partner in triathlon. And we've talked about doing this for a couple years now. And I'm glad that we finally just bit the bullet and said, we're gonna go out on our own, and she's gonna show me what to do and when to do it and how hard to do it or how easy to do it. And that might just be the key to my success. And I'm excited to see exactly how it plays out. And I'm willing to bet it's gonna play out pretty good.
5 years ago this weekend, I had never done an Ironman event before, and it was the first time that I tried one of these. I made the same drive I did yesterday from Nashville to Chattanooga. I did Ironman 70.3 Chattanooga. I survived it, and somehow in the last 5 years, I've kept doing them. And now I'm back, and part of what I want to do this weekend is have a little time to reminisce and think about how much I've changed as a person, how much I've changed as an athlete, and all the awesome experiences I've gotten to have along the way. For 3 years when I did these triathlons, my goal was just to finish. A year ago, Ironman 70.3 Chattanooga, I had a very different goal. My goal was to finish under 6 hours for the first time. I actually finished somehow in 5:24. And in the year since then, there's been so much that's happened in my life in triathlon and away from triathlon. And this weekend, in a weird way, it's sort of everything that's happened in the last year is sort of on my mind right now. The euphoria a year ago in Chattanooga was really weird and mixed in a way, because I had this awesome time goal and I qualified for Worlds, but Caitlin didn't, and I felt terrible for her. And then on race day, I found out that one of my friends in Atlanta had cancer. And rather than driving home to Nashville, I made a quick turnaround and drove to Atlanta to visit him in the hospital to say goodbye to him. Since then, there was a lot going on there throughout the summer. I'm training for Worlds while dealing with grief. Went to Worlds, it was an amazing experience. I came home. My company that I was working for went out of business. Then I got COVID. I spent Christmas at home alone. There's been a lot away from triathlon that's gone on in the last year. And coming back here, now it's been a full year. Even if I have a race that's slower than I expect or hope, and in a lot of ways, I don't really care, because coming back here and doing this race again, at least in my head, I'm trying to look at it as I got through all of these other challenges in life. And that's sort of a different approach, because I don't have a time goal for the race. It's really just, I want to celebrate the good and accept the bad and acknowledge a very full 365 days that, ironically enough, started here 1 year ago. I never thought I would be here and keep being here. When I did this race in 2019, I thought it was a one and done, and it'd be this fun little footnote I'd throw on my Instagram profile or something. And 5 years later, my beard has whitened, my hair has thinned, and somehow being a triathlete is one of the first things that people think of when they think of me. It's kind of fun to acknowledge and have a very clear picture of how this sport has completely changed everything about my life.
This is the start of my 15th year in triathlon, and I am excited that I get to kick it off in Chattanooga. This is my third time racing 70.3 Chattanooga. I love the city, I love the vibe, I love the course, and I think it's only fitting to kick off a milestone season in one of my favorite places to race. There has been so much change in me in the last several months, and if you look back a year ago at Chattanooga, if you look back 3 seasons ago when we did Chattanooga for the first time, I'm a completely different person. Physically, performance-wise, emotionally, it kind of feels like it's a new rebirth of me as a triathlete, as a person. And I never know what's going to happen on race day from year to year, from race to race, but I'm excited to see what is going to come on race day. I think we've put in a whole lot of work. We've changed things up, done things so dramatically different. And the bottom line, and I think the storyline for me, is that in this process, going back to late December when we really started working toward this race, was that I've really learned to trust myself and trust my instincts, because a lot of times I look back and say, if I would have listened to myself, if I would have only done this, if I would have believed in myself sooner, I wouldn't have to reinvent the wheel all the time. And I think that's where I am now, is like I had this awakening and I had this growth in me over the past few months. And whatever that is on race day, whatever comes, I think it's a big amount of growth in who I am, regardless of what the time on the clock is or what the performance is. I'm excited to see it all come to fruition and celebrate the steps along the journey that took me to get here. I'm looking to gain confirmation and validation that I know what I'm doing, that the 15 years in this sport haven't been all for nothing, that along those 15 years, I've learned so much, I've grown a whole lot, and I need to give myself the credit that I know that I can be a good triathlete, and I know I can trust myself, and I know I can give myself the permission to go and succeed. And emotionally, I think that it's a big boost to see my work, and not just whatever happens on race day. It's to see that over the past few months, my run paces have gotten faster, my bike power has gotten stronger. I've lost 21 pounds since December, and that was a huge goal, is that I knew I wanted to come into this race fit, to give myself a chance to be fast. And I've accomplished all the small goals along the way, and I've appreciated all those small goals along the way. And race day really is a celebration of the process. And emotionally, I want to celebrate that, and I want to validate that I've done things the right way. And everybody has a different way of doing things, and it's okay. It doesn't have to be somebody else's process. It doesn't have to be somebody else's ideology. It doesn't have to be somebody else's structure or plan. That I can trust what I do and what I put to paper, and then I can perform when it comes time.